Welcome to the session. I am Dr. Sudarmani, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Department of Zoology, ANJAC. First of all, I want to thank our management, principal, and our HOD who had given me this opportunity. Today we are going to discuss regarding food chain and food web. But what is food chain? Food chain, the sequence of eaters being eaten is called food chain. Here there are some samples of food chains have been displayed here on tropic level, then grassland biome, pond biome, and ocean biome. That is three types of food chains have been discussed here, placed here for your view. Then the biotic factors of the ecosystem are linked together by food. For example, producers farm the food for the herbivores. Herbivores farm the food to the carnivores. Here we are having an example for food chain. See, the plant is producing energy from the sun, which is devoured by the herbivores, that mouse, that will be devoured by the snake and the eagle in a chain form. It's called food chain. Various steps in food chain are called trophic levels, owing to repeated eating by being eaten. The energy is transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level. This transfer of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level is called energy flow. Some samples of energy flow are given here for your reference. See, there are up to 5 trophic levels have been mentioned here for your use. In all the food chain, these 5 trophic levels are presented here. In all the food chain, the energy is trapped by the producers, then transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level in a chain form. There are 3 types of examples I have given below for your reference regarding to explain the food chain and the energy flow. For your example, we are presenting a marine ecosystem to explain the food chain form in marine. Food chain, typical food chain can be seen in a pond ecosystem. Here the algae and the phytoplanktons form the producers, which produce energy, which has been devoured by the zooplankton. Then zooplanktons have been eaten by the next carnivores in the next trophic levels, and the fishes were eaten by the eagle or predatory birds. There are coming to types of food chain. There are 2 main types of food chains, that is grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Regarding grazing food chain, here this food chain starts from plants, goes through herbivores and ends in carnivores. For example, green plants trap the energy which had been devoured by goat, man, then by lion. And another example, in a grassland, the grasses trap the energy, then grasshoppers devour energy, then that energy has been placed by mouse, which had been eaten by snake, then by hawk finally. Like that, in a pond ecosystem, phytoplanktons generate energy, zooplanktons devour the energy. From zooplankton, energy is transferred to fishes, then snake to bird. And in grazing food chain, and again 2 types are there. One is predatory food chain, the other one is parasite food chain. I will see one by one. Predatory food chain. In predator food chain, one animal captures and devours another animal. The animal which is eaten is called prey, and the animal which kill and eat the other animal is known as predator. The predator food chain is formed of plants, herbivores, carnivores, secondary carnivores, and so on. Then coming to parasite food chain, plants and animals of the grazing food chain are infested by parasitoids. Here an example is placed here for your reference. Parasites derive their energy from their hosts, like plants and birds. Thus, the parasitic chain is formed within the grazing food chain. And then the second type, detritus food chain. Here, the detritus food chain starts from dead organic matter and ends in inorganic compounds. In the detritus food chain, there are certain groups of organisms which feed exclusively on dead organisms or dead bodies of animals and plants. These organisms are called detritivores. These detritivores include algae, bacteria, fungi, protozoans, insects, millipedes, and so on. And also some birds like ducks and crow, etc. These organisms ingest and digest the dead bodies, dead organic matters, and some amount of energy is trapped. They absorb the energy from the dead bodies and trap the energy in their body. And these are again used by another set of animals in the another trophic levels. Finally, these organisms convert these detritivores, convert these organic compounds into carbon dioxide and water. So, dead organic materials, from the dead organic materials, detritivores utilize energy, and the final products were carbon dioxide and water. This equation explains you the detritus food chain in the bottom. Dead organic materials, detritivores utilize the energy and release carbon dioxide and water and elements. Then regarding food web, the interlocking of many food chain is called food web. Here one example is present here for your information. Here many food chains are interlocked and which form the food web. You can observe that nearly 5 to 6 food chains were interlocked in this diagram. It is usually seen in all the territories like aquatic, grassland, and marine. We can observe this type of food web. Normally, food chain, each food chain will not present alone. They will be always present in the interlocked pattern. That this diagram is well explaining you about the food web. That's all regarding food web. This food web will support the ecosystem. It will help the ecosystem to balance the energy need of each organism, and it will have the proper recycling of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, and the proper utilization and release of elements in the ecosystem. That is, plants utilize elements from the ecosystem. They fix them in their body, and it will be devoured by the organisms present in the next trophic levels, and which will be decomposed finally after their death by the microorganisms. Hence, the food web is the basic thing which will balance the rotation of elements in the ecosystem. Thank you.
This video is from www.makemegenius.com. If you want to see more science videos, go to www.makemegenius.com. Oh, yeah, it is free.
Hey, lucky man, can you give a bite to me? If I tell you something about pizza and food, would you give a piece? Okay, tell me, do you know where all food comes from? Wow, you are right. We humans get all our food from animals and plants. Let me tell you more about food. Plants are only living species who make their own food. They use sunlight, carbon dioxide from air, and water from soil to make their food. This process is called photosynthesis. So now you know plants make their own food. All other species like animals and we humans are dependent on plants. Now see, a giraffe is coming. It is eating the plant. Species who only eat plant are called herbivores. Oh, what is happening? A lion is coming. Oh, it is attacking the giraffe. Oh, it has killed the giraffe and is eating it. Species which eat other animals are called carnivores. So you have seen plants make their own food. Other animals eat plants, and some other animals eat those animals who eat plants. So all are dependent on plants. This is also called food chain. It starts from plants. In food chain, plants are known as producers as they produce food. The species who eat plants are called primary consumers, and the species who eat species dependent on plants are called secondary consumers. Now, there is one more part of this food chain. These are fungi and bacteria in soil. When animals die, these fungi and bacteria in soil decompose their dead bodies. They become nutrients. These nutrients again are used by plants to make food. See here, when lion dies, its body is decomposed in soil by bacteria and fungi, and it turns into nutrients. Then, these are again used by plants. These fungi and bacteria are called decomposers. Decomposers are an important part of food chain. Let us see other food chain. Here, rat eats acorns fruit, which comes from plant, and snake eats rats. Eagle eats rat. Eagle dies. It gets decomposed, and plants use decomposed nutrients to produce fruit. The food chains which we saw, which have one producer, one primary consumer, and one secondary consumer, are called simple food chains. Actually, life is not so simple. Look at this picture. This is very complex. Look at the rat. It can be eaten by cat also, or it may be eaten by snake. Plant can be eaten by goat or by rabbit. These kind of complex food chains are called food web, as they are very interconnected, like a spider web. So now you know a lot about food, food chain, and food web. Now can you give me a piece? Thank you. I was so tired and hungry. I wanted energy to continue. Do you know why we need food? Okay. You know we need food to get energy. Energy is required by living being for growth. Also for movement, we need energy. Similarly, when species reproduce, they need energy. Also, as grow up or grow old, our old tissues get damaged or new cells are produced. This process also needs energy. Now, from where this energy come from? Most of the living species use sun's energy. This energy is transferred to body via food they eat. Sun gives light energy, which is used by plants to make their food by photosynthesis. These plants are eaten by primary consumers and energy is transferred to them. Now secondary consumers eat these primary consumers and energy is transferred to them too. So does giraffe get all the energy from plant which plant gets from sun? Or does lion gets all energy from giraffe which giraffe gets from plant? The answer is no. Actually, 90% energy is lost when it passes from one part of chain to other. Like 90% energy is lost when giraffe eats plant. Similarly, 90% energy is lost between lion and giraffe. Look at this pyramid. It is called energy pyramid. This shows that energy available becomes lesser and lesser as we move on the top of food chain. To understand energy pyramid, let's assume plants absorb 1,000 units of energy from sun. When giraffe eats it, 90% energy is lost, so giraffe only gets 10% of energy. This means energy transfer from plant to giraffe is 105 of 1,000 units of plant energy, which is 100 units. Now when lion eats giraffe, 90% energy is again lost, and lion gets only 10 units of energy. So, now you know more about food and energy. Can you give me one more bite? Please give me one more bite. You already have so much energy. I need more food to get more energy. Sorry, man.
So you're going to www.makemegenius.com for science videos. It also has lots of interesting facts and PowerPoint presentations for children.